small camera. So, what the hell? Don't know if I'm in frame or not. Doesn't really matter, right? Right. So anyway, Anthocondavod. It does need a slight adjustment, though. I love $3 cameras. Really do. Anyway, so Anthocondavod made another video. So, look, his previous videos have been sort of the argument from we can't overcome our nature, that we're sort of born to be a certain kind of beast, and we just can't deny ourselves the pleasure of being, I don't know, somebody who would steal candy from a baby. By nature, that's probably who I am. I don't really like babies innately, never really did. Don't have much respect for them. They look vulnerable and stuff, but I would think my nature would be to assume it just isn't going to appreciate the candy as much as me. So yes, I might as well steal it from the damn baby. But I've been educated, to acquire the knowledge that I would be disgracing myself, all right, to stoop to such a level. Not so much that the baby's going to be harmed, but my integrity would be harmed. I would be demonstrating a lack of discipline. And it should even this idea that we would acquire something called discipline would be something edification, advancement in your development. You would become aware of. So yeah, let's not have this stupid argument about can't overcome our nature. Of course we can. And then now he's basically arguing now that our cultural heritage, what ethnicity you grow up in or what civilization you grow up in, must own us. Not in the sense that you're going to root for the home team a bit. Definitely your conditioning is going to affect your sensibilities. Even the pronunciation of words. I mean, he speaks in English because of his culture, Canadian. That's different than my English. So some of his words are almost irritating because they're pronounced wrong by my English standards. And it's, but so that's but does anybody have a problem understanding that that's all subjective crap, like a food taste? That doesn't have any real meaning, and that if it was important in any way, it would be something we could change, or we would be willing to change quite easily if somebody demonstrated to be important. So he uses as examples, the kooks in the Middle East, and maybe the people in certain European countries who are feeling a little desperate in terms because of their current lack of status, and so they live based on the glory years, when they were the hub of civilization, and feel proud of themselves for that, and keep wanting to rub everybody's face in it, like, we made you, we invented all the cool stuff you're exploiting now, kind of argument. So this sort of national pride thing. And yeah, we're all vulnerable to pride, but don't all intellectuals know that it's not, you shouldn't be proud of being owned by pride? That pride isn't a good source of understanding or discrimination in terms of it being just subjectively based? That, again, the mature, educated thing to do is to acquire some knowledge of what is really important and be proud of the accomplishment of not letting your subjective bigotries and biases to own you. I mean, they can still be part of you, but you just acknowledge their existence, acknowledge that it's just a fluke of your personality, and get over it. But you don't make the argument that this is a a true philosophical barrier, that this is a true impediment to the advancement of the human species. It's not. It only is in the context of how human beings have allowed civilization to develop, in the sense that the no-betters have unfortunately been selfish and greedy, I suggest, and they just don't do anything to force a civilization. They don't put anything on the line for it. So yeah, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have change in the world if you keep placating and so we're acquiescing to the obnoxiousnesses and rudenesses of the ignorant masses, so to speak. They need to be ridiculed. People who live on ethnic pride need to be properly humiliated. If you are, flag waving and all of that crap, that nationalism stuff, and that, especially when it's just tied to ethnicity, we should be embarrassed that we have something called the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It should be an embarrassment that we think people are entitled to some acknowledgement for irrelevancy. I knew that was going to happen. Too much talking. Yes, the tried and true old fan came through. Yes, sent me some cigarettes. She's just too nice a person. God damn it. And clearly, she's somebody who acknowledges that inside she's a bit of a monster. Where's my damn matches? So she struggles with the idea of being better than your nature. And again, it doesn't take much intelligence, I don't think, to acknowledge that we should struggle against our nature, that we were created by evolution, or we exist through this process of evolution, and evolution didn't make a nice animal. It made a survivor. And there's more to existence than survival. Your survival is not the game. There's a thing called productivity. There's a thing called impact and influence on the entire game. And that's the measure of your value. Again, this will not be a point Anticontavat will ever acknowledge, but it is a fundamental truth. You will leave this place, better or worse for your existence. Things will be better off or worse off in some, by some math. And that's just going to be a fact. And we can sort of understand some of the worst off calamities that we can cause. And we civilized humans recognize an obligation. Job one is to do no harm, create no catastrophes, don't make a mess. So it's almost like a timeshare thing. We're here as a timeshare. We get our little piece of playing human, owning the condo, the consciousness. And we have an obligation to the other owners not to make a mess of it, not to catastrophically ruin it. And his philosophy creates evasions for that responsibility. He'll call it guilt-mongering, or a crime against some beautiful spiritual nature that needs freedom and liberation. That you're a tyrannical monster if you start talking about your entities who are going to inherit what you've done to the place. You know, how much dog shit you've left on the carpets. I'll be back. There, I'm back. That wasn't so bad. Addiction. These are words we can understand. We can understand addiction. We can understand bigotry. We can understand subjective preference. We can understand bias. We can understand that both our nature and our nurture can be not constructive. There can be obstacles to our development, and that there are things to be overcome. We can be raised by assholes who can be attempting to raise you to be an asshole, and you can overcome that heritage and be better than the thing that created you. It's just a fact. There's nothing stopping it. All it takes is the understanding, the idea of it, the knowledge that you're supposed to be, you ought to be, you really must be sufficient to your circumstance. There are jobs and necessities built into the liberty you possess. You have the power to make a mess, or you have a power to create something magnificent out of your existence. That's just the truth. And it's a sensible, logical ought that you ought to aspire to be the best you can be. Yeah. To do the best you can with the opportunity, with the bit of game you're playing. And you either will or you won't. That's a deterministic fact. I guess what I'm arguing is that people need to tell people. They need to sometimes say these things because it has a cascading effect. And obligation is an important concept. And if nobody talks about it, nobody says anything about it, then it won't be satisfied. Because it is our nature to cheat and take. And it helps to have the understanding that some people are going to see you taking and cheating. They're going to know that when you stick that candy, you were wrong to do it. And your knowledge of their knowledge might affect you enough to motivate you to do better. Yeah, so anyway, so yes, I advocate for you being civilized. I advocate for you using as much rational judgment as possible in the determination of your choices, your decision making, and that you, wherever possible, present a negative mind state when you hear such things as nationalism or prideism or egoism or all this crap that you know is crap, that has nothing to do with merit and has nothing to do with defining your destiny. You're not your ethnicity, you're not your race, you're not all that crap doesn't mean anything really. The only thing you are is a body and a brain, and they can be anything, and it's been proven over and over again. Anybody can be president, but anybody can be a decent human. It doesn't matter what their nature is, doesn't matter what their nurture is, they can overcome all of it and be a human being. And everybody should be advocating that everybody try to be the best human being they can be, that they take care of the condo, when they have the keys of opportunity to make a mess or to make something magnificent. Something like that. Anyway. No. The next time. See if I can hit this button. I'm making a mess. Yeah, it's still blinking. Okay.